Okay, now, did you read that, Jane? Who?
No, Jan.
Oh, it's Jan's turn.
Unfairness and attack are one mistake, so firmly joined that where one is perceived, the other must be seen. You cannot be unfairly treated.
I was saying yes. Remember that that sentence.
The belief you are is but another form of the idea you are deprived by someone, not yourself. Projection of the cause of sacrifice is at the root of everything perceived to be unfair and not your just deserts. Yet it is you who ask this of yourself in deep injustice to the Son of God. You have no enemy except yourself, and you are enemy indeed to him because you do not know him as yourself. What could be more unjust than that he be deprived of what he is, denied the right to be himself, and asked to sacrifice his Father's love and yours as not his due?
Remember that, because this is one of the places where he's saying this unfairness and attack are one mistake. So you always use that. When I start to feel that I'm going into tilt, I am perceiving myself unfairly treated somewhere. Where is it? Because it's not true. It's not true, but I'm perceiving it because I wouldn't be going into defensiveness or whatever. So remember, Jesus is saying, you cannot be unfairly treated ever, no matter what, no where, no how. So it's a misperception. So now you have the opportunity to have it healed so you can get out of the fearful state that that whole thing implies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is good news. We are enemy only to ourselves.
That's all we need sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need any more.
No, I know. I'm big enough for that. I'm doing a good enough job myself. Okay, and this is good. Beware that this is temptation in the Course. Whenever it uses that word, it's talking about this next sentence. This is what it means. It talks about temptation.
This
Tempt
goes
and tempt.
right into the victimhood.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
So, Judy's reading.
I can hardly wait to read it. You all have read it. Beware of the temptation to perceive yourself unfairly treated. In this view, you seek to find an innocence that is not theirs, but yours alone, and at the cost of someone else's guilt. Can innocence be purchased by the giving of your guilt to someone else? And is it innocence that your attack on him attempts to get? Is it not retribution for your own attack upon the Son of God you seek? Is it not safer to believe that you are innocent of this and victimized despite your innocence? Whatever way the game of guilt is played, there must be loss. Someone must lose his innocence that someone else can take it from him, making it his own.
The game of
Guilt. Now, would you say,
I don't know why I'm laughing at this because it's been very hurtful for my whole life, but
I'm familiar
it's
with
just
this.
very, yeah, and it's like,
it's
to
very
think that I
so.
was completely, totally invested in this, and now it's like, it's silly. I mean,
It's silly, I know.
But, I don't know, game of guilt.
It's a good thing to remember this. Wherever it's played, we're going to lose. Isn't it amazing that it really is what your whole life is a game of guilt?
What was that thing? There's a big hole, I fall into it.
Yeah, we did that
There's
a
a
couple
big
days
hole.
ago.
I choose to fall. I'm familiar. I'm going in again. Going in for the game. Going in for another round.
Maybe I can win this time, my innocence. But that's good. Remember, beware of the temptation. And he uses the word temptation all over, but that's what he means, to perceive yourself unfairly treated. Because now you're saying, you are guilty because you unfairly treated me. And so I'm going to make you guilty and win my innocence. I'm going to play the game of guilt. And that's why, later on it's great because he says, this is what we're playing as long as we're under the control of the ego mindset about who we are and the answer to our problems and the answer to our fear. And then later on he's talking about the happy game of salvation. We're going to play another game. It's called Salvation's Game. The game Salvation, Salvation is the game happy children play.
All right.
I think it's really interesting that fourth sentence, it says, is it innocence that your attack on him attempts to get? It's like if I'm whining and complaining that somebody has treated me wrong, they done me wrong, I'm attacking them.
Am I getting innocence?
Am I getting innocence by attacking?
I know, especially when the reason you're attacking them is they were attacking you and you thought they weren't innocent, but now you're doing the same thing. Somehow though, when we do it, it's different, isn't it?
But you know, there's a little part in your mind, even when you're doing it, that says, something not quite right here.
Feels very normal, but not right. Okay, is it Jean's turn?
Yeah. You think your brother is unfair to you because you think that one must be unfair to make the other innocent. And in this game, do you perceive one purpose for your whole relationship? And this you seek to add unto the purpose given it. The Holy Spirit's purpose is to let the presence of your holy guests be known to you. And to this purpose, nothing can be added, for the world is purposeless except for this. To add or take away from this one goal is but to take away all purpose from the world and from yourself. And each unfairness that the world appears to lay upon you, you have laid on it by rendering it purposeless, without the function that the Holy Spirit sees. And simple justice has been thus denied to every living thing upon the earth.
That's heavy.
But that's that face of innocence you wear when you think you're fair.
Yeah, it's just the other people that are being unfair, but I'm being totally fair. So remember, this section started with, remember, there's only one thing we need to do to realize the Father and the Son's presence, is not to believe that there's ever a justification for attack. There is no such thing as unfair treatment. So that's why he's saying, that's the purpose of the world now. As we pick up this task as miracle workers, we are never to justify attack. And we will begin to see the Father and the Son if we do that. We will begin to see the face of Christ and we will awaken to our identity. And now there's a real purpose to everything we do. And until we do that, he says you're making it purposeless. If you play this other game, your whole relationship is purposeless. It serves no purpose because it has no meaning. Because you're trying to prove something that isn't true. You're trying to prove guilt is true and it's not true, so it has no purpose, has no meaning. You're wasting your time. It isn't going to happen. You're just going to fantasize. But if you do this, now you're serving a real purpose and you will receive what we're doing is we're raising our awareness of who we are gradually. Each time we will not justify our attack on anyone for whatever they do or whatever they think or whatever. So now we're really doing something.
About time.
About time. What this injustice does to you who judge unfairly and who see as you have judged, you cannot calculate. The world grows dim and threatening. Not a trace of all the happy sparkle that salvation brings can you perceive to lighten up your way. And so you see yourself deprived of light, abandoned to the dark, unfairly left without a purpose in a futile world. The world is fair because the Holy Spirit has brought injustice to the light within, and there has all unfairness been resolved and been replaced with justice and with love. If you perceive injustice anywhere, you need but say, by this do I deny the presence of the Father and the Son, and I would rather know of them than see injustice, which their presence shines